Hello, it's Markham Torch here from Markham 3D, and today we're going to be making the Hoth generators from Star Wars and then printing them. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my image and I'm just going to click and drag it into my scene. I'm going to press Alt R and Alt G to reset the view. And from here, I'm going to press G to move up, Z, and let's do rotate, so R, X, 90 degrees. So now we've kind of got our reference image. However, I want to be able to see it from the side, so I'm going to do Shift D to duplicate and then rotate Z 90 degrees. So now we've kind of got our scale. Alright, first thing, let's delete that, Shift A, and we'll add in a cylinder. Now you have to remember we're going to be 3D printing this, so might have to change a few things, such as, so in this bit here, I'll just zoom in a bit, in this bit here, it can't have any overhang, so we actually might just make that like a 45-degree angle. This is fine here, but in here we can't really have an overhang because obviously we can't print like that. We can with supports, but let's try and minimize cleanup here. So back into our mesh, rotate X 90 degrees. Let's just go into front view, make sure we're seeing front view. Rotate Z 90 because I want to see it like this. All right, scale X. So what do we reckon, like this? I'm going to Control R and left click and then right click to put that back in the middle. V to rip. And let's select this side, delete vertices. And I'm going to come over here into the mirror modifier, modifiers, enable mirror on the X axis. Beautiful. And let's just turn on clipping just in case we move anything. From here, let's just go G, X, just move it out a bit. E to extrude, bring it about. Oh, actually, no, let's just undo that. So we can see that there's a bit of a lip down. So I'm going to press I to do an inset and hold Shift to move in slowly. From here, it comes out a bit. E to extrude. Okay. And then from here, we've got this sharp angle. So scale out, and we'll bring that about here-ish. But is it just me, or does that look offset? It doesn't. Seems like maybe that's an oval piece. Just for the sake of it, I'm just going to assume that it's a circle in there. So from here, press I again, just do a little inset. And from here, I'm going to go E and in, and then scale that in. So that angle seems fine. I'm going to press I again. Let's bring that in. And from here, E to extrude, scale. Beautiful. What do we, so we've now here, straight down. Let's do the I bit again. And let's go back in. Scale that out. And what are we going to do here? From here, we will do another inset, E, and scale that. That's a bit too far out, I believe. GX, let's bring that back in. Now I'm just going to, let's go 3D cursor. I'm just going to scale this a bit bigger. And what I think is, what section looks a bit too big? It doesn't seem that big. If I scale on the X-axis, maybe we can expand this circle a bit. Just change that back to medium point. So just scale that out a bit. And from here, I'm just going to select this point here, plus, geez. And let's just select all this. I'm just going to scale. Doesn't look too bad. I think in here we can scale this up a bit, which means we could scale this up a bit, which means we could scale this up a bit. How's that looking? So it doesn't look too bad. So we're at this point here. So let's do another inset, and I'm going to bring that in and scale that in. And from here, let's just extrude. So that doesn't look too bad. think we can get away with that. And so now we've got it on both sides. Now let's just put this groove in here. I'm going to Alt right click on the edge there. Control B won't work, so I'm going to do Control R, put in edge loop in here. I'm going to go front view with numpad 1 and Alt right click so we get that edge loop. Z to go into wireframe. B for box select, and I'm going to middle mouse to deselect. And that looks cool. And I'm going to E to extrude, right click to put that back in, and Alt S to scale that in. So let's have a look. What do we got? It doesn't look too bad. Now we've got these pieces here at the front, so how about we do a little fun with them? I'm going to go into object mode by pressing tab, Shift A to add in a new mesh, and let's go cube. And what do we got? So it seems like if I can scale that out, GY, let's bring it out here. It seems like there's a piece that comes out here. So what I'll do is I'm just going to cheat, Shift D. I'm going to rotate that. G. Let's bring that, go back into front view, size and X. And let's go back into wireframe so we know that that's the edge of the groove there. So if I rotate it in place, maybe like so. Now we can work off this box. Back into solid mode. What do we got? Let's just scale that up a little bit. Whoops. Control L, select everything linked. Scale that up. And it's almost like I might put an edge loop here. Select these two and GY to move it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like that maybe. I mean, we're just going off this picture. So that doesn't look too bad, I guess. What do we got here? We got something here. How about first, I'm going to cut this in half, V to rip, select these two, Control L, delete vertices, Shift right click, and have them both joined. So I'm going to do Control J to join. So now they are one object. However, it's not on the other side, so I'm just going to do Control L, and select these two. I'm going to press P to separate by selection. Let's change the axis, whoops, select this one. Let's change the axis from X to Y. Back into object mode and hit apply. From here, let's shift right click and select both, Control J. There we go. So now we've got stuff on either side, which is what we wanted. What else can we do from here? So let's repeat this outwards. So add modifier array, and we want 4 of them. So down here on the right hand side, we got 4. What we might throw in, let's just put in a floor plane, just so we can kind of see GZ. Alright, so that's what we're looking at, which doesn't look too bad. I will do spacebar to search, smooth, shade smooth, yuck. But if we come over here into the object data and select normals, auto smooth, there we go. Now you have to remember the quality, like all the little pieces aren't in here because we're not going to get that detail in 3D printing. From here, let's create this thing, whatever this is. So I'm going to Shift D on this, G on the X, scale. Let's extrude X. And what do we got? I think kind of comes down. There's like a cube or something here, which is fine by me. That's fairly straightforward. I'm going to select all those faces, front view again, Z to wireframe, box select, and let's get rid of all those faces. And I'm just going to E to extrude Z, scale Z0, so now it's directly like that. And what I want to do now is I want to kind of join these together. So the question is what is the location of this? X equals 1.317. Let's copy that. And I'm going to select these faces in here. And let's go wireframe, box select. There we go. And I want to extrude on the x-axis, but I'm going to click Control V. There we go. And let's go delete faces. That doesn't look too bad. Over here we need to work out, we've got nothing. We don't know what's on the end cap. Alright, from here I'm fairly happy with how that's turned out. Let's now apply some modifiers. So let's go mirror modifier first, array, and now this is all one piece. So let's now create this end cap. I'm going to, on here, I'm going to select all these edges with Alt right click, delete vertices. And let's do the same with all this. Alt right click, delete vertices. And now we've got this whole area. Control L to select link, E to extrude on the x-axis. Yeah, we've got nothing really. So what can we do here just to add something, because I think that's a bit too bland. I'm going to select these two, Shift D on the x-axis, G Y to move it up. Now these two lines are on at the top here aren't straight, so I'm going to select the three of them, Shift right click, scale Z0, so now that is smooth. Control L, G X, whoops, extrude, so E, and move that on the x-axis. Control L, G Y, let's just make that a little bit thicker, GX. Beautiful. I'm going to shift right click on that, Control L, and let's go GX, scale X -1. There we go. Come over here, Control L, delete vertices. And so now I can do the same, GX. Alright. So there we have it. We've created it. We still got 2 or 3 more things to do. First up, let's check the normals. So if we don't have the normals facing the right way, it's the slicing software is just going to have a field day. So I'm going to come up here into the top right and select, go into edit mode, top right here, and we're going to select the normals, and we're going to push on faces. And so I've already got it on that one, and we can see here that we don't have any blue lines. So what that means is the surface of this object is facing inwards, which is no good, because when the slicing software goes through, the inside wall is the outside of the model, so it's trying to find the outside, but it's inside. So this, so the space inside would be like negative volume, which I know sounds silly. That doesn't make any sense, but you got to have the normals facing the right way. So the way you do that is Shift N, and now that's all facing the right way, and we can quickly see everything is looking schmick. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to finish this off. So I'm going to right click, delete, and from here, where's our line? Probably this here, this 2mm mark. I'm going to go tab into edit mode. Oop, that's not facing the right way. So let's select everything, Shift N. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to cut, yeah, I'm going to say on this line here. So let's go knife tool, so K, and then we want to cut through the mesh, so I press Z, and I want to cut straight at 0 degrees C. So I'm going to select probably about here. And enter. So now we've sliced this model. So from here, if I go box select and select all this stuff, Control L to select everything that's linked, it selected a whole bunch of stuff. That's because I didn't cut it. I just cut the mesh. So if I do Control Z, it got rid of the cut. So let's try it again. So we will go K, Z, C, and enter. I'm going to press V to rip everything apart. And hopefully it did. So let's have a look. Now if I go box select, Control L, delete vertices. Oops, I didn't select these bottom bits. Okay, go into Y mode, Control L, delete vertices. Beautiful. Okay, so here we have it, and the bottom is now all exposed. So we actually now have to kind of cut this off. So I'm just do Alt, right click, face. Let's just select this whole area, face, face. We probably could have done the array modifier now, but oh well. Live and learn. Can always come. So I'm just going to go around, whoops, and cover all these pieces up. Where are we? Here we go. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't have that cut. Oh, actually, maybe we did. Control L, delete vertices. What we might do is, is select everything, space, merge by distance, and that's now deleted 164 vertices. So these points here weren't connected before. So let's select this, Control L, nope, okay, face. The merge vertices was probably not the right time to do it. So I got to now do these manually. V to rip and delete vertices. We're good here. Good here. We're not good here. So let's go V to rip. Control L, delete vertices. Face. 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 Beautiful. All right. Now let's just save the blend file. So now we've got that saved. Right. Now this is the question is, so every millimeter, one blend unit, so one of these boxes is 1 millimeter. Now it depends how big we want this. If we want this to be a 4 meter piece in comparison, so technically all the way up here, it's going to be a big print. I might just keep it as is. Actually, how big is my printing bed? I've got an Ender 3, which is 200 mil. Oh, that's a big print. I might keep it just small for now for this one. But each blender unit, so this is 1 millimeter. So that means what we need to do is when we go export STL, we want to export selected only, and the scale needs to be 25. So 1 millimeter on Blender, or one blender unit, is 25 millimeters in real life. So let's go like that, export STL. Now let's jump over to Cura. So from here, I'm going to open, and let's go to my builds. We called it Shield Gen. That is not the Shield Gen. Open. There we go. Oh my goodness, that is massive. All right, let's scale that down a bit. 50%. And we will move that over into the middle. Question is, do I have enough filament? I don't know, but we will try that. We'll go prepare. Standard quality is fine. We don't want ironing. Infill 10%. Beautiful. Support material, sure. Supports everywhere that's needed. So if we have a look, whoa, what are you doing? Drop down. There we go. Alright, so we've got some red pieces here. Now what's that saying is that Cura thinks this is the normals that I was talking about before, which is no good. That's not what we want. So let's go back into Blender, and I'm sure, please let me be right. If I go tab into edit mode, we do not see any of those lines. So Cura is trying to put supports inside the model. So if I go select all, Shift N, there we go. So let's now file, export, STL. That's all good. Minimize, delete, open, STL, and you're back over here. 50%. Okay, bring that over. Oops. Oh, jeez. Beautiful slice. Let's have a look. So it's going to take about 50 grams. I think I've got 50 grams before I have to change cartridge. But yeah, let's kick that off. Save to removable. And done. Let's go print. So after waiting 5 hours, this is what we've got. It actually came out really good. I'm actually quite happy how it came out. As you can see here, it looks okay. The bits in between are a little bit thin. That's my only problem. But from here, I went and primed it, and it came out not too bad. The primer really brought out all the printing lines, but whatevs. So this is the first time I've actually painted a 3D model, and this is just the process I go through. So sit back and relax to this bit, chill out to the music, and just enjoy. And there we have it. My Star Wars Hoth shield generator painted. Looks quite nice. I'm actually quite pleased with that. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Keeps you up to date with any future videos.